You turn on the light, but nothing happens. The power is out, your phone is dead, and a checkpoint has appeared at the end of the street. This is not a movie. This is what reality looks like when the system breaks down. Buckle up. Lockdowns, checkpoints, and power outages are just around the corner. And when they begin, it will not be slow and polite. It will be chaos. Without electricity, without news, without help. So the main question is, are you ready for the first 72 hours of total collapse? Let's break down how to prepare step by step. First, strengthen your home before the lights go out. When the electricity goes off, the crime rate increases. This is a simple truth observed with every outage. And if you think you can rely on the police or local authorities during a systemic failure, think again. They are as overwhelmed and unaware of what is happening as you are. Your home is your first line of defense, but only if you have fortified it before the power goes out. Start with the doors. Most entrance doors are practically unprotected. Replace the protective plates with stronger ones and standard screws with hardened ones that securely screw into the wall. This can double or triple the time needed to break into your entrance. Install a first-class lock, not a cheap model. Add a barrier to reinforce the door or a locking system at the bottom. These tools are simple, inexpensive, and can be a decisive factor between a robbery and a failed attempt. The next step is the windows. They are your most vulnerable points. Apply a protective film that is shatter-resistant. Install window locks and secure sliding windows with wooden blocks. In the absence of electricity, when alarms are down and phone calls are delayed, you will need every layer of protection you can create. Don't forget about the garage. Most people overlook this. If the electricity is turned off, the automatic openers become vulnerable. Disable them and manually block the way with a clamp or padlock. Strengthen the interior door leading into your home, just like the entrance door. If someone gets into your garage, this door will be their last barrier. It is also important to install blackout curtains. In the sea of darkness, even a candle becomes a signal. Blackout curtains prevent light from seeping outside, maintaining your shelter while providing a full view of what is happening from the inside. Finally, consider installing solar lights with motion sensors on the outside. Even during a power outage, they charge during the day and illuminate at night, scaring off those who come too close. In a blackout, your home will look either like a target or a fortress. If you want to prepare for what awaits us, make sure it is indeed a fortress. Second, stock up on the right emergency food. When store shelves are empty and checkpoints block access to essential goods, your food supplies become your only hope. But if you only have a pack of dry noodles and a box of canned corn, you will face tough times during a power outage. Emergency food is not just thousands of calories in containers. It is strategic nourishment, moral support, and practicality. Start with long-term products. Rice, beans, lentils, and oatmeal are a true find. They last for years, are rich in nutrients, and can be combined into countless dishes. Combine them with salt, butter, and basic spices, and you can stretch your supplies without turning food into punishment. Next, portable food. In quarantine or evacuation, you will need food that can be quickly taken with you. Think of protein bars, a mix of nuts and dried fruits, jerky, and freeze-dried meals that only need water added. Choose options that do not cause a sharp spike in blood sugar and do not require constant cooling. Add a bit of food mood. Many prepared for emergencies make mistakes here. Chocolate, instant coffee, tea bags, peanut butter, hot sauce, or even bouillon cubes. When stress levels peak, such comfort foods can help calm down and maintain psychological resilience. Don't forget about vitamins. Even the best stock of food may be insufficient in important nutrients. A bottle of multivitamins can help replenish deficiencies and prevent fatigue, depression, or illness during a prolonged crisis. What about cooking? You won't always have a stove. That's why options that require little fuel or no cooking at all are necessary. Canned soups, stews, and ready-made meals should be prioritized. If you have the ability to boil water, you can prepare almost anything, but you shouldn't count on this luxury. Finally, rotation. Every 6 months, check your supplies, replace expired products, and replenish what you have used. This way, your emergency food will also be part of your everyday cooking. Providing food is not just about surviving hunger. This is about maintaining energy, strength, and the ability to make decisions in stressful situations. Because when the electricity goes out, stores are closed, and documents are checked at checkpoints, you will be glad you didn't wait. Third, store and secure water. You can live 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. During a prolonged power outage, access to safe drinking water will disappear faster than anything else. Municipal water systems rely on electricity for pumping, purifying, and delivering water to your tap. As soon as the electricity goes out, the pressure will drop and the risks of contamination will sharply increase. That tap you took for granted might run dry or, worse, poison you. So start stocking up on water now, not tomorrow. The rule is simple: 1 gallon of water per person per day. This will cover drinking needs, minimal food preparation, and basic hygiene. Multiply this by 30 days for a family of 4, and you will need 120 gallons. And this is just the minimum. Use 5-gallon containers, 55-liter barrels, or special water blocks. Be sure to label everything. Add purification drops or bleach to stored water if it has not been pre-filtered. Update supplies every 6 to 9 months and store them in a cool, dark place away from chemicals. But even a good supply can run out. Here, filtration systems come to the rescue. Gravity-fed filters like Berkey, Alexapure, or Sawyer turn questionable sources like ponds, streams, or rainwater into clean drinking water. Add spare water filters, iodine tablets, and if fuel is available, boiling options. Know where to find water when the taps run dry. Gutters can fill rain barrels. Water heaters store 30 or 50 gallons of water. Local streams or fountains in parks can be a lifesaver. Learn about these sources now. Don't wait for dehydration to start searching. When the next power outage happens, water is not just a means of survival. It is your strength. If there is water, you survive. If there isn't, you will have to beg. Asking during a state of war is a situation you do not want to find yourself in. Fourth, prepare for power outages as if they will last for weeks. Most people prepare for an evening without electricity, but you must be ready for weeks or even longer, because in the case of a coordinated attack, an electromagnetic pulse, or a network failure, this is what it will take to get something working again, if it ever does. Therefore, you need to create your own solutions for autonomous power supply right now. Start with solar generators. You don't need a full system for the house. Portable devices like Blue Eye, EcoFlow, or Jackie are enough to power phones, fans, LED lamps, even small refrigerators or medical equipment. Combine them with foldable solar panels that can be adjusted for maximum sunlight exposure. Then move on to the battery banks. Purchase several high-capacity batteries with USB outputs. Keep them charged. Note their capacity and purpose. Recharge them using solar panels or a car inverter if necessary. Always update your supplies. Always test. Now prioritize what you will nourish. Phones for communication, radios for information, medical devices for survival, lighting for safety, fans for temperature control. It's not about turning on the television or microwave. This is only for the most necessary things. Use low-energy devices, LED lamps, DC fans, USB-powered devices. Purchase multifunctional appliances like flashlights with built-in radios or rechargeable handheld flashlights. And not just to store them. Practice using them. Know how to set up your panels. Test how long the charge lasts. Find out how long it takes to fully charge. Because when the grid goes down, there will be no room for trial and error. Energy is control. Energy is independence. In a new era of outages, even a drop of electricity will give you a strategic advantage. So stock up, store, save, and prepare. The next outage may not be temporary because most likely it will be. Fifth, organize autonomous cooking and heating. If you have never tried cooking a full meal without electricity, gas, and a microwave, welcome to the reality of blackouts. When the power is out for more than a few hours, cooking becomes a survival science. And in winter, heating is just as important. But here's the catch. Using the wrong equipment or settings can be as dangerous as having nothing at all. Therefore, preparing autonomous solutions for cooking and heating until the next power outage is a necessity. Start with fuel sources. Propane is the best choice in power outage situations. It is efficient, widely available, and can power everything from small stoves to heaters and lanterns. Keep several 1-pound propane canisters for convenience and at least 2 20-pound tanks for long-term use. Keep them outside, away from sources of fire, and periodically switch their places. Now let's talk about stoves. A small camping gas stove is great for basic tasks: boiling water, reheating soup, and cooking rice. But what to do if the gas runs out? Here, the variety of fuels comes to the rescue. Add an alcohol stove to your kit, such as Trangia or Solo. They run on denatured alcohol, are lightweight, reliable, and compact. For outdoor use, consider a rocket stove, which is an efficient wood-burning stove that uses branches and wood scraps. It's a great option for heating food or boiling water with minimal smoke. You can even build such a stove yourself from several metal cans or bricks if you use your ingenuity. But remember, with fire comes risk. In case of a power outage, fire services may respond slowly or not come at all. Therefore, safety when using fire becomes your responsibility. Never cook indoors without proper ventilation. Do not use gas or alcohol stoves indoors unless they are designed for it. Always keep a fire extinguisher handy and know how to use it. For heating, consider the Mr. Heater Buddy. It runs on propane and is safe for indoor use if basic precautions are followed, such as keeping a window slightly open and using a carbon monoxide detector. Stay warm, wear layered clothing. Use myR blankets to isolate one room, making it a warm zone by covering the doors and windows with blankets. Don't forget about the moral state. A hot cup of coffee, a warm dinner, or the chance to reheat soup can significantly improve your emotional state during a prolonged power outage. Ultimately, you shouldn't rely on takeout becoming available again. You need to have several ways to cook and at least one safe source of heat before the light goes out. The network will not wait, and your body cannot withstand the cold, hunger, or fire that cannot be extinguished. Sixth, obtain communication means that do not depend on cell towers. Let's be honest. Your mobile phone is useless in a real crisis. When the network goes down and the towers lose backup power, or worse, when authorities deliberately shut down networks to maintain order, you will be left with an expensive paperweight. How to stay informed, how to communicate with loved ones, neighbors, or emergency services. Start preparing for autonomous communication now, not later. Begin with the basics. A manual emergency radio device. They are inexpensive, require no batteries, and allow tuning into weather alerts, radio stations, and even shortwave frequencies if things get really bad. Some models even have USB ports for charging a phone. Brands like Kaido or Midland are reliable and widely available. Next are the radio stations. Cheap FRS or GMRS radio systems will help you stay in touch with family in your area or neighborhood. Look for models with good range and rechargeable batteries. Don't forget to test them in advance and coordinate channels with trusted contacts. For more experienced operators, shortwave radios are suitable. A license is required for data transmission, but not for listening. With the right conditions, this communication allows for long-distance conversations between cities, states, and even countries. The basic Baofeng radio station costs less than $30 and can connect you with local radio enthusiasts, disaster updates, and emergency services. However, hardware alone is not enough. You need a communication plan. Print a list of contacts with addresses, phone numbers, radio frequencies, and emergency protocols. Keep paper maps, instructions, and reference cards for each device. Do not hope to remember anything in a stressful situation. Establish signal codes with neighbors, such as flashes of light, colored flags, chalk signs, or special whistle signals. This way, you can convey information about safety, danger, or requests for help, even without words. There's no need to invent something complicated, just something functional. Also consider applications for networking, such as BridgeFi or Briar. They use Bluetooth to send messages over short distances without the need for towers or Wi-Fi. This is great for densely populated cities during digital outages, but test them in advance. And here's what many overlook. Listen more than you speak. In an emergency, you'll gain more by gathering information than sharing it. Know when to speak and when to be silent. In a complete communication blackout, people with radios become the eyes and ears of society. If you want to stay one step ahead and avoid danger, preparing for communication is not an option but a matter of survival. The next step is to ensure financial independence. When the shutdown occurs, your debit card will become a coaster. The banking app will stop working, and the chip reader at the gas station will be useless. For several hours, the digital financial system we all rely on will fall silent. And at that moment, people realize how fragile our usual life is. To be prepared for this, you need to ensure financial independence right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Start with what continues to function when there is no electricity. Cash, but not with $100 bills. In a crisis, no one will be able to change large bills. You will need small money, $1, $5, and $10 bills. Enough to cover expenses for food, fuel, medicine, or even to exchange for something that can save you. Keep them in different places. Some in your wallet, a bit in your backpack, hidden in the car, tucked away in the house. Because if you gather everything in one place, and that place burns or is robbed, it will be the end. But there is a broader picture. In conditions of prolonged disconnection, cash is just the beginning. What truly matters is what people can use. That's when barter comes into play. Those who prepared in advance will not only survive, but thrive. Think about the stressful moments in a collapsing system. People will no longer be interested in designer brands or luxury items. They will need batteries for flashlights, medicine for children, lighters for cooking, cigarettes for calming nerves, and even a bottle of whiskey will become a valuable commodity, not for fun, but for easing pain, trading, or boosting morale. Here begins the true power of preparation. When neighbors are in panic and stores are closed, you will be the one who has the necessary supplies that people suddenly cannot do without. And if you have prepared properly, you will have enough to share, exchange, or defend your positions. But don't stop there. Think bigger. What if a power outage becomes not only physical, but also financial? Without digital banking, access to accounts, salaries, direct transfers, and savings. If this lasts more than a week, panic will begin not only in grocery stores, but also in markets. Therefore, now is the time to pay off high-interest debts. Reduce your obligations. Learn to live frugally. Know what to do when the system forgets about your existence. Financial collapse doesn't always start on Wall Street. It can begin with a storm, a cyber attack, or an overloaded power grid. And when that happens, there are two types of people: those who hold a useless credit card and those who have the means to survive. You know who you want to be. So take care of that now, before the electricity is really turned off. The next step is to place tactical tools in every room. Let's be honest. When the power outage turns into a real disaster, you won't have time to search for your gear. If someone breaks into your house at 2 in the morning during a blackout, you will have mere seconds to react, not minutes. There is no time to open a safe, rummage through a drawer, or feel around in the dark. Seconds. That's why serious preppers don't just have tactical tools. They place them in every room, in every corner, in every backup point. Start with what you have the right to carry and use. If you are trained and licensed to handle firearms, your means of protection should be both safe and accessible. Biometric safes, quick access weapon storage, and rigorous training are essential elements. You need not only the means, but also the ability to quickly retrieve it in the dark under the influence of adrenaline when someone is climbing the stairs. This is the level of readiness we are talking about. But let's not pretend that everyone has firearms or the desire to possess them. Therefore, non-lethal tools are also extremely important. Pepper spray does not require a background check and does not need to be reloaded. And when it is sprayed in the dark in a confined space, it can stop the attacker and give you time to escape or strengthen your position. Tactical flashlights are another underestimated force. A bright strobe not only blinds the attacker but also disorients them. In combination with a sturdy metal casing, it can also be used as a striking tool. No special training is required to use it. The golden rule is, there should be something in every room. It could be a flashlight by your bed, a tactical pen on the table, a multi-tool in the kitchen drawer, a baseball bat behind the cabinet door, anything that matches your level of comfort and preparedness. Place it, remember it, and rehearse how to use it in a stressful situation. Placement does not mean leaving tools in plain sight. Hide them in a visible location. Put them away if you have children. Use furniture with built-in compartments or be creative. No one should know what you are prepared for, except for you. If you have a family, teach them. Show them how to access tools. Conduct quiet training. Build muscle memory. For the most unpleasant feeling in a power outage is not fear, but helplessness. Tools are only helpful if the people in your house know how to use them. Think about your car as well. A tactical flashlight, a seatbelt cutter, and a multi-tool should be in the glove compartment. Your car can become your backup shelter or the quickest escape, and it must be ready just like your front door. It's not paranoia, but practicality. In the event of a long-term power outage, law and order quickly weaken, and when the lights go out, predators come into play. But if they enter a prepared, trained, and armed home, they won't stay long. So don't wait until it's too late. Prepare your house, room by room, because when the system collapses, your only line of defense is you. Point number 9. Create a local security network. Here is the harsh reality. You will not survive a long-term power outage alone. You can last a few days, but when the network keeps failing, systems break down, and trucks stop running, the community becomes your lifeline. Most people think that preparedness is a competition of me against the world. But the truth is that your greatest asset during a power outage is not just your supplies, but your neighbors. The sooner you build trust and coordination, the better your chances of keeping the situation under control when everything starts to go awry. Start small. You don't need to announce that you are preparing. You just need to get to know the people on your street, who among them has medical training, who has tools, who is already quietly preparing but does so discreetly. Start by offering help. Talk about local security, recent outages, and how vulnerable the neighborhood feels. Let the conversation flow naturally, then connect with a few trusted families. Keep the circle small. You don't need 40 people, just a few reliable, like-minded individuals who understand the risks. Set up a verification system. It can be as simple as blinking a light from a window at a certain time, or using a pre-agreed whistle to signal for help or danger. Flags, flashlight flashes, radio channels, whatever you choose, keep it consistent and practice. Because when communication breaks down, visual and sound signals will be your only means of communication. Assign roles, even informally. One house watches the street, another guards the alley, someone monitors radio signals, and someone else deals with first aid kits and emergency care. You are not creating a militia. You are creating resilience. And that is why it matters. When rumors spread that your neighborhood is organized, aware, and vigilant, you will no longer appear as a target. Thieves do not want resistance. They need chaos. But in a neighborhood where people watch over each other, coordinate at night, and are ready to defend, it becomes unsafe. You also create a safety net of resources. Perhaps one house has run out of propane, while another has an excess. Maybe someone has a spare charger or a water filter. Instead of hoarding and hiding, you build mutual connections and stability. But here's the catch. You can't wait for the power to go out to build this. Trust takes time. Systems need testing. And when the lights go out, paranoia grows. Therefore, it's necessary to lay the foundations now, while everything is calm, so that when trouble starts, your network is strong, because in a prolonged power outage, your gear won't save you. It will be the people standing behind you. 10th, conduct full power outage drills with your family. You have stocked food, collected water, tested solar lanterns, and prepared tools. Great. But if you have never truly been without light, you are not ready. Period. Full drills for power outages are not optional. This is the only way to understand if your plan works when it matters. It's not just about the equipment. It's important how you act, what your habits are, and what weaknesses only show when the lights are really off. Choose the weekend. Turn off the main circuit breaker. No deception. No phones, unless in airplane mode. No trips to the store. Just 24 to 48 hours of complete simulation of a power outage. During the first hour, you will begin to learn. Can you move around the house without hitting the furniture? Can your children find the flashlight? Does your spare lamp light up the whole room or just the corner? Simulate a nighttime intrusion. Try to walk from the bedroom to the front door quietly. Time how long it takes to gather everyone in the safe room. Conduct exercises on communication using silent signals, verbal cues, and radios. See who remembers what and who freezes. Check your cooking system. How long does it take to boil water on the backup stove? How many dishes can you prepare before the fuel runs out? Does your ventilation system remove smoke, or does the whole house fill with it? Turn on your solar devices. Charge the device. Start the fan. Keep an eye on how long they work. Find out how long it will take to recharge. Consider every watt hour as if it matters, because in a real outage, it will be important. And here is the main point. Don't wait for something to break. Expect it to break. That's the essence. You need broken clamps, drained batteries, inaccessible flashlights, because right now, you can fix them. During a real blackout, you won't have this chance. When the drills are over, discuss with your family what worked and what didn't. Who froze? Who managed? What needs improvement? Create a list based on your experience and update your plan, because theory remains just theory until it is tested. The best prepared people are not those with the largest supplies, but those who have practiced under pressure. Therefore, if you really want to be prepared for what is coming, don't just prepare. Test your plan in a stressful situation. Start today. Close all gaps in your plan. Conduct drills. Organize your supplies. If this has given you at least one valuable idea, subscribe and stay updated. But before you leave, write in the comments what you haven't prepared for a long power outage.